Alright, it looks like we are good. Hello, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this weekend outlook forecast, but a different style. I'm not outside this time, I'm in the room because we got a special thing happening. We have a storm on the way for Saturday. However, it's not a earthbound weather storm, it's a geomagnetic storm. So what's happened is something called a coronal mass ejection, CME, that has happened. Essentially, it's a solar wind. It's the solar flares that we think of, and I'm going to show you that in a second too, in a couple minutes. But the solar flares that go out and then arc back into the sun, this is so strong. It's just a bunch of mass, just sun mass, essentially ejected out. And these are charged subatomic particles. That makes the solar wind. They are highly energetic. That's where we do have a deflector shield. We're shielded. Shields are real. The Earth has its own deflector shield, being the ionosphere, and the magnetic field of the Earth. That's where we have a round shape turned into a bit more of a teardrop shape, where we have the solar wind pressing on the front and elongating out the back. So that's where the ionosphere or the magnetic sphere, that's where it looks like a teardrop to protect us. It's going to get bombarded tomorrow. This coronal mass ejection, essentially sun vomit, in layman's terms, is on its way as of this recording. That's going to be arriving, I believe it's between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. tomorrow. I have consulted with meteorologist Joe Chaffee, who's Joe Rayo, on this, who is great with all of the astronomy stuff, because he works with also Neil deGrasse Tyson. I have not met Neil deGrasse Tyson, but if you're watching, I would love to meet you to talk about this a little bit more. However, the key thing with this, we would normally expect the aurora borealis, the northern lights. That is not probably going to happen, unfortunately. Yes, we will see up in the sky, the northern lights will be reaching down to our level in the tri-state region. However, the key difference here is the timing. If the northern lights are happening during the day, we're just not going to see it. So let me check in here. Let's see what Joe Rayo said. A shot of subatomic particles ejected from the sun will interact with our magnetic poles on Saturday between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. during the daytime. Also, I was looking, tomorrow is going to be a pretty much 12-hour day of sunlight and sunset. We have sunrise at a little after 7 a.m. and sunset a little after 7 p.m. So between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., if that's when the coronal mass ejection hits us, we're not going to see the northern lights, unfortunately. That's where virtual reality comes in. We can see the northern lights and the sun all the time with virtual reality. If you don't have virtual reality, I will take you on a journey with me into space, into the solar system. So that's what this weekend outlook will be about. It's going to be a little bit longer. Ready, almost 5 minutes in. I'm going to try and keep it as quick as possible. A little bit of the weather afterwards. So I'm going to load this guy up. And then we're going to step into the solar system. And if you're wondering, I'll get to the view in a second. I can see the controllers because I can see my hands in virtual space. Now, I just gotta load that game up. The game is Universe Sandbox. Just gotta fix the glasses. New glasses, actually. This is one of the first times I've tried the VR headset in this. They just barely fit. Alright. I can just barely see it through here. Okay. So here, we're in space. You got the Milky Way. And this is interesting because it's actually a real life example between the distance between the moon and the Earth. The sun isn't actually pictured here just because it's a little bit further away. We can see the moon's orbit. Just for demonstration, I will take the moon, and put it kind of where we normally would see the moon. And I'm going to start the orbit there. A little bit too far. A little bit less energy. There we go. And, oh, too close. This is the fun part with that is, yeah, that's not going to work. Just a little bit more. It's hard to actually get a stable orbit. And it exploded. Alright. So we're going to take a look at the sun itself. So I'm going to bring up the whole solar system. Let's see, Earth and Moon. Here we go. Solar system. I don't think there was anything else in there. Alright. So this, we can see all the track lines. That is our solar system. It's actually really beautiful to see it, even in virtual space like this. Let's teleport to the sun. There's our sun. It is very bright even in this. These are some statistics with the sun. So this is all estimates, 70,200 kilometer radius, density, temperature, and velocity. Also in terms of this time, let me slow this down. So this is 15 days per second. I want this to be real time. 29, just about 1 second per second. That's good enough. Alright. So we're in 1 second per second right now. What's essentially happening, as you can see how I do this, we're going to fly. There we go. So there is the sun. And let me just find Earth, Saturn, Pluto. Don't know what that is. Where's Earth? I think Earth. Oh, there's Mars. Mercury. Even still, look how far Mercury is from the sun. I want to go this way. Yeah, look at that. So, that just feels dangerous, even though it's virtual. Where's the Earth? Ooh, I am touching the microphone right now. I apologize. Where's Earth? There's Earth. Okay. So now I know where Earth is. There's the blue line. Let's move backwards. So essentially, what has happened here? And Pete, if you're watching, we did talk about this too. We were in a solar minimum and we're transitioning to a solar maximum. the Earth is there, the sun is here. You see, I'm not going to actually teleport because that's going to take a while. So in the sun, I don't know if I can actually trigger a solar flare or anything like that. I think I can. The coronal mass ejection has a little spot on there, and these are the dark spots. Those are the active spots. So a burst of solar mass, the coronal mass ejection, which is the bright spot around, so it looks a little darker in the middle. The hottest part of the sun is actually the corona. Comparing to the surface, the corona is hotter than the surface of the sun. And where did Earth go? I can't see here. Vesta. Oh, Vesta is. Somewhere over here. There's Earth. So from the sun, we have mass exiting. So you can see how far away Earth is. And I'm going to see if I can teleport there. So we're going to teleport back to Earth. There's Earth. The sun you can't even really see from here. It's just very small. That distance, which is essentially 1 AU it's called, light takes 8 minutes to travel at the speed of light from the sun to Earth. And then as I move here, let me just move. We can't actually see the ionosphere. Let me make sure I point there. We go. But in this view, we can see the atmosphere. Look at this. All the possibilities with this. Look at that atmosphere. And even just stepping inside here, there's the center of the Earth. You can see that's the clouds. But look how thin the atmosphere actually is. You can see ever so slightly the thin cloud layer there. I'm gonna go this way. There we go. Just look how thin that atmosphere is. So, what we're seeing from the sun hits the ionosphere, which is probably out at this level here. This creates the teardrop shape. So with the Earth, it gets bunched up in the front, and then it becomes a teardrop out towards the back. The northern lights normally don't get as far south. They're right here. There's the tri-state area. You can see it's already dark in Maine. I actually don't know if this is real cloud cover, like active. That'd be cool if it was, but I'm not going to say it is right now. The northern lights usually stay in the Arctic Circle, but because of that intense solar energy coming through, right over the poles, that's where we have this inward pull from the ionosphere. That northern light's going to be moving down into our area. It's probably going to be a little bit better. It's probably going to be a little bit better seen if you're more north, number one. Number two, if you actually change the time it's coming. Because it's going to be between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., probably not going to see it. But it's still cool to see the Earth view here. And it is really interesting just to see how thin the atmosphere is compared to the Earth as a whole. And as another comparison I'm going to do, I'm going to teleport back to the sun, a very bright sun. And move, we're going to fly. Alright, so there's the sun. I am going to, and this is through the beauty of virtual reality. Here we go. The hazards of virtual reality. Tail. I'm going to create the Earth. So look at that tiny dot. That's the moon compared to the Earth. Or compared to the sun. And here. Let's get Earth. So there. Let me move a little closer. So sun, Earth. That is the size difference. This is just incredible to see. And if I do this, I just let it go. Just look at that. I'll make another one. Maybe a little bit closer. See what happens. You can see already it's doing something. And what am I going to do? I'm going to move. I'm going to create. I'm going to move the Earth ever so slightly closer in. We changed our sun. Alright, I'm just destroying everybody. Not realistic anymore. Let me reset that. Solar system. We're gonna teleport to the sun. Slow it down. About 1 second per second, so it's real time. And fly closer. So I don't know how I was able to before trigger a solar flare. I think it was this. Change the mass. Ooh, that scared me. I think the sun's just, yeah, I think it's just gonna increase the mass of the sun. It's not actually triggering anything. Not time, I want mass. Let me back up a little bit. Nope, not triggering anything. We're gonna go even further. 105 sun mass. Alright. Back up. Whoa. Okay, I went too far. This is a black hole. So if you are dizzy, just imagine what I'm seeing. This is trippy. It's actually really it. Huh. Lost for words. Where can I fly? Can I get out of this? Ooh. I'm out. So whatever I was in is out now. Oh, there it is. the only way we can see sun supernova remnant, which is a black hole. That's really the only way we can tell a black hole is there, is the distortion. So if I try and get back, that's cool. That's the event horizon. Essentially, that's the point of no return that we would cross. And that's it, in the black hole. Ooh, that's small. Well, it is trippy to look at. Okay. We're gonna exit. Well, that was fun. So now we're going to switch to just a quick weather discussion. Apologize for the sound. A little bit more light. There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay. I always get this streak going down my hair. So, that was interesting. I hope you enjoyed. I will mark it in the YouTube video where we transition from the solar system to weather. So besides the solar storm, we have wind to talk about. So I am going to bring up a couple things here. So on here, this is the current radar. Our main system, the low center, is out. This is all just backdoor or wraparound. I should say wraparound. Possibly snow, but mostly not. And that's where, in here, let me just refresh to make sure it's up to date. We have a winter storm warning. Ulster County, western Ulster County. Winter storm warning there. Snow accumulations 2 to 6 inches. Winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. And then for Sullivan County, winter weather advisory. Additional snow accumulation of 1 to 3 inches with winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. So that's what we have in terms of any kind of wintry activity. Going a bit more north. All this pink is the winter storm warning. That, I don't know if there, let me see if there's an expiration date on it. I'm just going to head to Oneonta. Until 23rd. Yeah, that's tomorrow. So until 8 a.m. tomorrow. That may be dropped sooner. If it is, you could check out on television. I'll be on television tomorrow morning. On the satellite here, our weather for tomorrow is not going to be bad. We have some clouds still lingering that we got to come in, but then we have a good amount of clear air. This clear air will be in for the weekend. So when we take a look at these forecast models, there goes our storm. This is the GFS right now on the good old Tropical Tidbits website. The high pressure gradient means those isobars close together. That means very windy conditions. This is where we could see those gusts getting up to 40 miles per hour. This is for Saturday. For Sunday, still dry. And then just a little linger going into, or a little sneak preview going into next week from Monday. Looks like for the most part, at least on GFS, it's going to be rain. Once you get north of, say, Orange County in the lower Hudson Valley, that's where we could see some snow there. Let's take a peek at the icon. And once that system, that's probably why the winter storm warning is still in for northern New York State there. But for the most of the day Saturday, it's pretty much just dry. But the high pressure gradient still is on the icon. That goes into Sunday, and then Monday. This is pretty much just showing a rain event, except in some areas in Pennsylvania. And now let's go to the NAM. Still very high pressure gradient, very windy for Saturday, Sunday. Actually, on Saturday, it doesn't really linger anything. By 8 a.m. Saturday, there's just little bits left. So they may drop that winter storm warning a little bit earlier. For Sunday itself, looks pretty good. High pressure moves in. That's that clear air we saw on the satellite image. And then for Monday, there is pretty much rain. However, it's not as intense here, except later in the actually in the morning, where it just becomes pretty much all rain. But early Monday morning, more north of the Hudson Valley. That's where there could be snow, maybe even that northeast corner of Pennsylvania. So overall, for the weekend, it looks like it's going to be dry, but windy. You have to be careful with. And then going into Monday morning, there may be some slick spots out there, some showers, and again, a bit more north, maybe some wintry weather still. The last thing I want to show you guys is the moss. One Stop Moss. I don't think I ever saved the bookmark. So we're going to go to a couple areas here. Where is it? New York. Oh, actually, New Jersey was first. We'll bring up Newark and New York. We're going to go from Islip. We're going to go Newburgh. Okay, not Newburgh. We'll do White Plains. White Plains. And we'll bring up the Moss data now. Eventually. There it is. So this again with the Moss, this first number here, that's the overnight low for today, not tomorrow. So Newark, 50s. Islip, upper 40s, low 50s. White Plains, upper 40s. Still getting into the 20s there in the overnight. We're in the maybe mid 50s, and upper 50s for Jersey specifically, maybe around 60 by Sunday. All right. So this is pretty much going to wrap up this one. I hope you enjoyed. It was a little bit of a different style weekend outlook forecast. We actually got to get out into the solar system, see the sun close up, and then we ended inside of a black hole. That was quite a journey to go from the Earth and the Moon to the Sun to a black hole, but we did. So, again, we may not be seeing that just because the northern lights from the coronal mass ejection, because this looks to be 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., unfortunately. And overall for the weekend, just windy. You got to be careful with that. If you have high-profile vehicles and you're traveling, you got to be careful. Keep a tight grip on the steering wheel. If you have anything outside, tie it down, or if you can, bring it inside. That pretty much wraps up this video. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.